Hey, hey, Blue Table fans! Here I am with an average human level of enthusiasm. That's right. By the way, yesterday I did 3 videos, a total of an hour of talking. Go to download them, files corrupted. Ah! Alright, here I am. I have an email from Hope Hip saying, with some questions. And by the way, you should send questions via email to this channel and I'll be glad to answer them. Let me get this door closed. He writes, hold on, what is it? I am sticking with 8th edition and never buying more books. What do you think will be the future of 40K? All right, first off, I think that if Games Workshop wanted, they could put a living document online with all the rules in one place, updated consistently, and they could create a balanced game. Please, make your money off of releases and other things. But, I mean, geez, with the books, man. So, 9th edition will be the first edition where I'm not buying the books. And I don't know how, but I've decided that I'm going to do that. I just can't do it. Now, as for the future of 40K, first off, Games Workshop has broken through with this deal with Hasbro / Wizards of the Coast, where they're making a Magic version, like the card game Magic version of 40K. That's crazy. And once you achieve a critical mass, then it just you're getting into the mainstream. Wizards. Another huge announcement is that Wizards of the Coast, which was bought by Hasbro, this giant toy company, they're like the largest division inside of Hasbro. Like more D&D and Magic is more than all of their toys and stuff. So there's definitely a transformative period coming up. And Games Workshop isn't the company that we knew in the 90s and early 2010s, long about 4th and 5th edition of Warhammer, where they were a large company. They started having some critical mass, but it was still run by gamers for gamers. Now, it's not going to be that way. And it's going to be a different creature. So, for the future of 40K, that's what I predict. You're going to see it's sort of consolidating along the lines of the changes that we've seen. I hope they don't accelerate the publication of editions. And it's just, oh my gosh, it's too much, guys. I've heard it called rules churn. Like once you get your army together, and that's the problem, is that it takes so much. It takes a huge amount of effort to get an army together, to buy the models, assemble them, and paint them, and then learn all the rules and stuff. So I really hope the rules churn settles down. And that could easily be done by simply creating this living document and putting their effort into other areas. But companies, as they grow larger and larger and they get a critical mass, they get a certain amount of momentum, they listen less and less to the fans. They're just doing, if it works, if their quarterly reports are good, it's just all that stuff just bounces off. It doesn't matter. And it's the same in any matter. In fact, I'd like to just ramble a bit and dig a little bit deeper. My observations at age 51, 50 years on this planet, is that humans are tribal and humans are self-interested. That's just the way that we are. And, oh, hello. Should have turned my ringer off. Nope, not as important as this. And so you see it, I've seen it in all different areas where once a person or a group of people sort of breaks away and they're doing great, they immediately forget about the commoners. And I've seen it on occasion in myself. Not great, and I think being at the bottom gives you empathy. So I recommend a period of time in everybody's life to really, really be there. Be at the bottom and truly, truly, truly develop that empathy. And that may be the whole point of this earth, that we'll wake up in as super beings in some galactic empire, and this reality was only to teach us some empathy towards other human beings, or other beings at all. And all right, anyway, so the future of 40K, my prediction is the products will become better and better, but the company, Games Workshop as a company, in terms of hobbyists, like consisting of wargamers, they'll get worse and worse. They'll become more and more detached, basically, until it just doesn't make any sense anymore. It's like, well, will releasing this book be good for the game? Will it make money? Oh, it makes money? Yeah, release it. Doesn't matter if it has typos, or we're going to change it in 2 months, or it'll be immediately have to be FAQ'd. It's not great. So in some ways, my prediction isn't great. However, you never know. The only thing that will change that course will be some sort of fan revolution that hits them in the pocketbook. And believe me, I'm a positive person. I like Games Workshop. I think they're doing a good job. And overall, it's a golden age of miniatures. And not just Games Workshop, everywhere. And that gets to this person's next question. What do you think about 3D printing and pre-colored, pre-painted miniatures becoming a thing? Boo, I hate it! Obviously, I own a company that lives on the disconnect between a game where in its purchase state versus its usable state. Like, you can't just open a tank kit, pull the sprues out, and stick them on the table and move this little stack of sprues around and be like, this is a tank. Doesn't work that way. And I don't think the wargaming by its very nature, the nature of the sum of people that purchase it, they're not going to be into pre-painted stuff. And we've seen that with Rackham, with AT-43. These companies did not do well. People don't. Let's imagine for a second that you walk in and all of a sudden at your local game shop, all the 40K kits are gone. And instead, all the kits come in clear plastic pre-painted things like Star Wars. What is it? Like the little space fighter game. Oh boy. And also, what else? Like Dungeons and Dragons has a lot of figures now that are pre-painted. Now imagine if that's all gone, and then if you want to play Necrons, this is what you get. You pull them off the shelf. That's the color that they are. Oh no, 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 no. There's too much momentum behind the thing where they are, you got to put them together and paint them. And that's part and parcel of the hobby, and I don't think that's going to go away. You'll have some people, well, will you? Probably not many. Like if there were a 3D printer that printed perfectly and that's painted, what if you could just get a file and it would look like a golden demon entry? I don't know. I still think there would be a little bit of prestige and stigma associated with that. But looking back, because I started in 2000, in 2004, I went to a grand tournament in Seattle and won Best Painted. And not for me. It was actually, I brought an army for a friend that was competing there. And that was one of my first commissions. It was an autumn-themed Wood Elves army. And it looked really cool. Looking back, not my greatest work, but at the time, it was better than anything that was there. I think there were like 30 people there, some 30 or 40. And anyway, it was there that I learned that it was kind of like if somebody had something pro-painted, like they hired someone to paint it, they wouldn't want people to know that there's like a stigma attached to that. Oh, you didn't paint them yourself. And that, of course, is going away. Now, oh, by the way, and that wasn't the case with my friend. He did credit me and actually gave me the trophy after. I used to have a box full of trophies and stuff. And there was a point where I was just like, this is the past. Bum, and I threw them in the garbage. I don't know. I think I think I made the right choice. You really do need to move forward. Okay, anyway, So pre-painted stuff, printed pre-painted stuff, it'll have a niche, but it won't be the craft and the customness and the prestige of painting something from scratch will still be there. Sadly, though, just as a side comment, is that on the secondary market, you don't get the labor value of the painting. And that just makes me sad. I wish people would hold out for it and would be very adamant, and there would be this sentiment like, if you want this something that where someone really put their life into it, there's a cost associated with that. And but you know, I guess it's just maybe the curse of artists. All right. Would love to listen to more paint and chats on YouTube. Those are coming. And last question from Hope Hip is, are you going to do more battle reports? The answer is yes. I haven't done them in a while. I've been kind of busy. However, I feel like I'm going to get back in the swing of things. And the fact is, I've been a little disheartened because the quality of stuff on YouTube now is just crazy. My channel used to be good. Oh no, it's not good. The only value that I bring really now is myself and sort of a hominess to it. But other than that, like, look at the views that my videos get. It's not. It's a third of what it was in 2008 when it started to take off. Well, I guess there was a point in time where the videos would get like 3,000 to 5,000 views. They'd need to be up a couple months, but we had a pretty high viewership. I do think a lot of that was like, what is it? I think there's like automated programs that go and like look at videos on YouTube and they give them more views than you actually have. So it's bloated. Like I have 44,000 subscribers, and by the way, it's going down. Great. In fact, I wish I could make it go to 0 and have everybody resubscribe. And then that way I could kind of see what the actual progress is. Because they only give you a net up or down. Anyway, now it's like 200 to 800 so 200 views for any old bollocks that I put up, and then 800 views for, you know, something that's like more interesting, more mainstream. So anyway, all right, thank you very much for the questions. I encourage you all, give me an email. I'll talk about almost any subject. And boy, do I love to hear myself talk. And more paint and chats coming. Oh, one last thing. If you need a project done, or a friend of yours needs a project done, look me up because we're ready to go.